Hey guys, it's been 9 months since I recorded a video for you guys, and for that I do apologize. It was a pretty crazy end of the year as I worked to wrap up the Ranchero, do some work on my little Chevy S10, and get ready for some work that I needed to do for a buddy who has a BMW with a sidecar that we needed to put in some reverse drive because of the sidecar. He could not back that thing up. So I really did kind of push myself to just get all that done. And I couldn't do that in video. It was just impossible. And then the holidays came and it was just kind of impossible to get back to it. I am trying to ramp this back up again. So tomorrow is a day that I'm going to go get a shot in this side of my neck, and then a week later a shot in that side of the neck, and hopefully some of this pain will go away that I suffer with. Really all that work last year just kind of did me in, and so anyway, I do apologize. So this is just a little quick update. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but other than to say, yeah, I still want to finish my story about building that Ranchero, and then some of the updates that I did after that, which I think will be helpful for some of you guys. Anyway, so you're going to see me here, getting my Ranchero finished. I did all of the body work I was going to do, got the door jamb fixed, which really did solve the problem. I just wanted to give you a little update where we're at. The entire garage, for the most part, has been plasticated. Hated the old Sprint dash that I got, but I had to scuff the entire block sand it. And again, I found some areas that kind of needed to be flattened out a little bit, and plus I kicked some dust out here that just looked horrible. And plus, for some reason, and I don't know why, the satin didn't turn it quite as satin as the rest of the back end. Maybe it was a difference in the paint mix ratio. I don't know. There were really two problems. One, the door didn't shut right. Kind of always, just had to slam it. But there was also kind of a pounding as I was driving. It was very annoying. So it turned out to be because the door and the dash where they met, as you'll see a picture here, they were rubbing right up against each other, and they would, occasionally open up and pound against one another. And so getting the door jamb, somewhat straightened out to get the door to fit really did solve that problem. So I did some driving with it. I'll show a few minutes of it here.
Hey, what year is that?
63.
Right on, nice.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't really try to get on it because I was having some other issues. Turned out I had to replace, I mean, it had 5 hours on the Holley fuel injection, maybe if that. And the O2 sensor, wideband O2 sensor, failed on it. And I found out that the temperature sending unit was 30 degrees off. So it was never really doing the things that it was supposed to do. So I got those two things fixed. And that was after this drive that you're seeing here. And so I got that done. And here it is sitting outside, you know, with the sun, the last of the summer sun beating down on it. And then I pulled this S10 in and put the Weber on it. And of course, when I bought the Weber for that, you know, it shipped with, you know, the S10 has what's called a 700 R4 transmission. And for Chevy guys, you'll know what that transmission is. But there's a throttle valve cable, TV cable that they call it, and it's supposed to connect to the Weber. And there was nothing there to connect it. There was just this little nub, as you're seeing here. And I contacted the guy and I said, hey, I think there's a problem with this. And his response to me was like, we have shipped 8,000 of those units and I've never had a problem. I go, well, showed a picture on their website of what it was supposed to look like, and he basically came back to me and says, well, you should buy it from him. I was like, I should be able to get it from you. He buys it from you. Anyway, it was a back and forth, and the guy just really started to irritate me. I called him some bad names, which I'm not, well, I mean, I called him inept because he was unwilling to look at the pictures that I was sending him of what I received and what I should have received. And I found another email that was on the invoice from the guy, and I sent that guy an email. I said, hey, this is what I've got. I've been talking to your other guy, and he's just like, you know, telling me to go pound sand. And he said, oh, I definitely see the problem. So he sent me another, you know, throttle bracket, which ended up having the wrong piece welded to it. It turns out to be the little nubbin for a turbo 350 or 400 transmission and not the 700 R4. So I was like, great, you know. So I didn't even write him back. I was just like, screw it. You can buy those little things on you know, Summit and Amazon and various other places. So I bought a couple off of Amazon because I figured I'd go ahead and fix mine and the one that they sent me originally, and maybe somebody else will need it someday. So anyhow, I got that all hooked up. Still, I never thought swapping out a carburetor was going to turn into learning how the 700 R4 works, but it turns out to be the case. Long story short, I had to get a little adapter uni spring thing that Summit sold to it's a compensator spring thing, which was, I guess it works for some people, but it didn't work for me, so I had to do a bunch of modifications to it. You know, it's supposed to be like this according to their instructions, and I had to make it look like this. And the transmission shifts fine. If you do not get this cable right, I mean, I have read countless places that you'll burn your transmission up in a mile, and I didn't want to burn the transmission up, so I didn't do any driving until I could say to myself, okay, that's good. I still need to get into it. You know, I bought the jet kits and whatnot to tune up the Weber. It's definitely a little bit on the rich side right now, so I need to get that tuned up and get it finished, which I'll do at the beginning of this year. I mean, it's already 2026, as you can tell. So anyhow, I'm going to do that. And then I pulled in my buddy's, I had called him up. He lives over on the other side of the Puget Sound, so he rode his motorcycle over here, and we pulled it into the garage, took the sidecar cover off where all of the guts are, and it uses a worn winch as the drive for his reverse gear. So we mounted that in and got all of the cabling hooked up, but I had to weld all the bracketry that they included. Quite an interesting motorcycle. I'd had to do some work for it. He took it up to the northernmost part of Canada that you could get to on the road, and on the way back, going through some washboard stuff, his whole steering collapsed. This is a very expensive motorcycle, and the whole front suspension part that they built for it just snapped into pieces, and he got it towed. How he found somebody to tow it, I don't know. I did a bunch of calling for him to try to find, a place that would do some work for him. The Heim joints that connected all of this stuff busted, and it just, the whole front end collapsed. So I ended up having to make that part for him too, amidst all of this other stuff I was doing last year. Totally re-engineered the front. Not re-engineered, but I made one probably twice as strong as the one he had originally built, plus the little connecting rods. They were 15-inch long pieces that had the Heim joints on it. All of that got rebuilt. So yeah, last year was just kind of crazy, and filming all that, I did not have it in me to do. So anyway, I'm back to it. He's he had to get that all put together because he was going to tow it on his trailer to Florida and put it on a shipping container to ship it overseas. His business, which he's retired from, was taking people on their adventure motorcycles from, let's say, Turkey to China, or from this last one, it was from Jordan to, I forget. I'll show a little picture of where he took, and you can kind of see the route that he took. That was his final tour that he did before he retired. But now he's doing just little side tours, and he needed to ship his bike off, and I told him I'd do the work for him. So after that was all done, like I say, the holidays came, and I just didn't have it in me. This last 2 days ago, our family pet, she passed away, and so had to deal with that. And it was just kind of like, okay, I think it's time. I need to come out here and tell you guys what's happening. I am going to pick up where I started, or where I left off, I should say. I think the last thing on the build I turned on the headlights, and there were lights 2 videos ago. And so I'll figure out where I left that off, what the next video should be, and I'll pick this up again. I don't know how I'm going to be after I get these shots in my neck, but hopefully the pain will go away, but I'm going to have to be sitting around and taking it easy while that's all happening. And I figure that might be a good time to do some video editing, so I'm going to get these videos put together and get this one out to you. So anyhow, that's where things are. That's where I'm going. And sorry it's been so long, and hopefully I'll get to another video in the next couple of weeks. Try to get this thing ramped up again for you, and we'll go from there. All right, well, I appreciate it. Sorry it's a short one, or well, maybe you're happy it's a short one, but we'll take it from there, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, thanks. Have a good one. Bye.